Hi, I'm Anne from MadamSew.com, and in this video I'll try to demystify thread tension on a sewing machine. Thread tension often gets the blame for a lot of things that go wrong with your stitches when you're sewing, and it's not always the thread tension that is the problem. So I made a little checklist of different things that you have to check before you start turning the little wheel of your thread tension. And I will explain more in detail how thread tension works, what it does, and how you can adjust it on your machine. So, a better understanding of thread tension in general and of your little sewing machine is really a sewing basic. And I think every owner of a sewing machine should have a basic knowledge of thread tension. Making nice and even stitches is what we all want, right? And in order to create a nicely balanced stitch, you need to have the same amount of thread that flows from the top and from the bottom. So from your spool and bobbin. If there is an imbalance between the two, your stitches will not look good and will not be of good quality. So basically, thread tension is the amount of thread that passes through your machine from the top and from the bottom. But in this video, I'll talk about the top tension of a sewing machine because it's easily adjustable, and the tension of the bottom thread, so the bobbin thread, is often factory set, and on basic sewing machines it is more difficult to adjust the bobbin thread. If you have a front-loading machine, you can adjust the bobbin tension on the bobbin case with a little screw here. On a top loader, you'll have to remove the needle plate in order to get to the bobbin tension, and it's also with a little screw that you can adjust it. But that's like more an advanced thing, so I'll focus on the top thread and how to adjust that and play with the top tension in order to get good stitches. Threading your machine is vital when it comes to thread tension. All the little guides along the way of the path that your thread follows are important for the balance of the top thread. So if you're missing one of them, the balance is completely off. The most important part, however, is hidden in the first slit, and those are the tension discs. And the tension discs can be open or closed. If your presser foot is up, they are open. If your presser foot is down, they are closed. So if you're threading your machine, always do so with your presser foot up, so the discs are open and can grab the thread nicely. If you are sewing with your presser foot up, which happens to everyone, then you will get big loops because the discs are open, and there will be the flow of thread of the top thread will be too big compared to the bobbin thread. So that's what makes the big loops. As soon as the presser foot is down, the discs close and put a certain pressure on the thread. And how much pressure is regulated with the thread regulator or the thread control. That is often a little wheel next to the first slit. Sometimes it's here on top, it depends. This goes from 0 tension, mine goes to 9, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's only 0 to 4. So in my case, 4 or 4.5 would be like a regular setting. Tension discs are not always hidden in this slit. On older machines, there's often a big knob here that contains the tension discs. When the tension regulator is turned to a lower number, the tension is looser, so there's less tension on the thread. When you go to a 9, there is a lot of tension on the thread. There are many things that can affect the stitch balance and the thread tension, such as the kind of thread that you're using, if your fabric is densely woven or not, if you're adding batting or not, if you're using straight stitches or decorative stitches, zigzag stitches. It all has an impact. So there's no general rule, unfortunately. So what you'll have to do is always test on a little scrap before you stitch your perfect precious fabric. And as I said at the start of this video, a lot of issues with stitches are caused by other factors than the tension settings on your machine. So let's go over a checklist I made for you. 1. Is your machine threaded correctly? Did you thread it with the presser foot up? Did you grab all the little guides along the way? Is your thread coming from behind the spool? And is your spool unwinding freely? 2. Is the bobbin inserted correctly into your machine or into the bobbin case? In case of a front-loading machine with a bobbin case, you have to make sure that the bobbin turns clockwise when you pull out the thread, and that the thread is nicely behind the spring. In case of a top loader, like this brother, make sure to insert the thread how it is indicated on the machine's bed. 3. Is your presser foot lowered when you started sewing? 4. Is your bobbin evenly wound? A badly wound bobbin will create a messy stitch. 5. Clean your machine. Some lint between the tension discs, in the guides, around the bobbin case, under the needle plate. It can all have a bad influence on nice stitches. And the last one, 6. Always check if your needle is okay. An old needle will create bad stitches. So if you're not finding what it is, be sure to change your needle and check if there's nothing wrong with the bobbin as well, because a little damaged part on the bobbin will distort your tension. And if you want to test your thread tension, I advise you to use a different color on a top thread and the bobbin thread, so you can see what color is showing on top and at the bottom side of your fabric. In an ideal scenario, in a good balanced stitch, you see the top color on top and the bobbin color at the bottom side. If the tension is off, the bobbin thread will show at the top, or the top thread will show too much at the bottom. So if the top tension is too loose, you can see the top thread underneath. If the top tension is too tight, you can see the bobbin thread on top. So test and change in little increments until you have that perfect balanced stitch. Getting the tension right is a trial and error process with your specific machine, your fabric, your thread, your stitches. You'll have to test anyway. So I hope that you learned something new in this introduction of thread tension. And if you have any other tips for getting great stitches, please share them in the comments. And if you want to know more or go over the checklist again, you can have a look at my sewing blog on madamsew.com. Bye!